誰？ウイスキー？あ、誰べ？よくでながらラッキーばしてくれて。おー、ノー、それに、あのレベル。Let's begin. Indeed.
All right, we're live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Honey Badger Radio. My name is Brian, and this is the Fireside Chat. And today, I am on with an old guest, friend of the channel, Luke Weber. I don't want to withhold the mystery any longer, but we have our reasons. So, Luke Weber, or Fresher Luke, as he is known on, I guess, by some. I mean, I've known you as Luke for as long as we've had you, around, which is like a few years now. So. Yeah. So how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me on. It's a great honor to finally be back here on the Honey Badger Radio channel once again to talk about things and whine about stuff.
I try not to whine. I'm generally an optimistic person by nature, but no, I get it because sometimes you need to vent, especially when you don't think anyone's understands your situation or your position.
So I mean, it's getting pretty fast out there. We're living in the world. A lot has happened since I've last been on, and the world's become a little bit darker because of it, I guess. I'm sure you can tell what I'm talking about, but
that's putting it lightly, I think.
I'm trying to put everything as lightly as I can, but
yeah, I hear you. So anyway, so the last time we talked was a few years ago. So what sort of I don't know, what's changed? What have you been up to?
I mean, nothing. Well, things have changed, but things haven't changed. I'm still, blacklisted from the animation industry. That obviously is never going to change because leftists can never admit when they're wrong. But I mean, in regards to things that have changed, I'm doing a lot better mentally, and I'm working on doing a lot better physically. I'm living a nice, quiet and peaceful life, which is good. That's part of the reason why I'm doing a lot better mentally. What else? And I'm just, I guess maybe you could call this my retirement phase. I don't know. It feels like it.
Yeah. So I remember when we talked last, you were kind of driving in Lyft or an Uber to make ends meet, or at least on the side or something. Are you still doing that?
I was doing kind of side stuff. Not really. I have a day job now. It's unrelated to what I used to do working in animation. But it, given everything that's currently happening in the industry right now, it's probably a good thing to sort of become, I guess, more versatile in that regard.
100%.
And more useful. Just, how to say it? You're basically, AI is becoming is increasingly becoming more sophisticated in that regard. And so I think it's probably a good time to sort of learn practical skills and use those to become more useful is probably a good way to put it.
Do you still keep tabs on what's going on in the industry? Do you still have friends or people that work there, and you sort of follow what's going on with it? Because you mentioned something about how the industry is these days.
I do still keep tabs on it now and then. I'm still on the mailing list of the Guild and some other places.
Oh, okay.
And I tend to just chuckle to myself now when I read those emails, because I can sort of read behind the context of sort of the front they put up, where they're kind of trying to pretend that everything is hunky-dory. In regards to friends, I don't have any. I mean, aside from only one person that I still keep in semi-regular contact with, I don't talk to and outside of other people who are sort of similar to me that I've managed to find who have come to me and they've told me their stories and how and one of those stories is that they haven't had any work in the last 2 years. And I'm sure you can guess what kind of demographic those people are. Demographics like you and me, Brian. So, but yeah, outside of that, I haven't contacted anybody in the industry. Nobody in the industry has bothered to contact me. I'm still basically the industry boogeyman that they use.
Persona non grata, right?
Yeah, whenever I kind of pop up or they kind of catch me talking about something that they don't like me telling the truth about in regards to what they're up to, then they prop me up as that straw man saying, I'm the devil and that, I'm dangerous and, all the usual BS. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we do have some new people watching, so like maybe we should give them a bit of a refresher course on like your story.
Course?
Yes. I see what you did there. Oh, very clever. Okay. Yes, we should give them a refresher course on Fresher. And what is it we're actually talking about? Because I think that the context isn't all there. So tell us a little bit about what you did in animation and then like what kind of like happened to you, just like a short version.
Like the cliff notes of my life story.
Yeah, I mean, we could get a little like, take whatever time you need so that
Sure.
people see where this is coming from, because I do think that it's not unimportant. I think it's actually really important stuff.
Sure.
But go ahead.
I mean, I guess it's important to, maybe it's sort of like a lore update or just to put things in context, so to say. I guess that makes sense. So my name is Luke Weber. I guess you could say I have like 20 plus years experience in the entertainment industry. 10 of those years were in Australia, which isn't really saying much because back then Australia didn't really have much of an entertainment industry to talk about. And as you can probably guess from my accent, I am originally from Australia. I moved to the United States at the end of 2009 and the beginning of 2010 in order to look for work, working in animation. As a result, partly due to the 2008 financial crash. Mm-hmm. And so I worked as a storyboard artist in Los Angeles at a lot of the major studios like DreamWorks, Cartoon Network, Warner Brothers. Who else? I'm drawing a blank. Disney and a whole host of other studios.
What was that company? It starts with a D.
Dickheads, maybe.
I don't. Very, very humble.
Yeah. So I worked at all these studios. You could probably find my IMDb. You can see it all there. I have a very extensive IMDb. And so I worked in all these studios mainly as a storyboard artist. Well, that's what I'm credited as mostly for about 10 years up until about, I guess, the beginning of 2018 when the Harvey Weinstein scandal broke and Me Too happened. And consequently, there was a silent coup from all the females in the animation industry who saw an opportunity to take control. They did. And one of the first things they did was to create a blacklist of straight white males who were also talented that could potentially
be an obstacle,
provide pushback, and my name was on that list, and I was accused of all kinds of incredibly heinous things, even to this day I don't know 100% what I've been accused of. I never had my day in court. I never had my chance to face my accusers or defend myself, and being blacklisted and having my reputation fundamentally destroyed as a result, I've more or less been able to get any kind of regular work, I guess, since 2019 was probably the last time I had any industry work. And so since then, I've mostly been trying to survive as an independent artist. What else? I feel like I'm forgetting something, Brian.
No, I mean, but like, I guess there's a few notable. Did you work on Bluey? Was that you?
No, I didn't work on Bluey. Bluey's an Australian production.
Yeah, that was an Australian thing you worked on, though. I
No, I
thought it was that.
I didn't work on Bluey. No, Bluey's a more
No, it
recent
wasn't
thing.
Bluey.
No.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that's right. But anyway, no, I think that makes sense. I mean, we talked a bit, like when I had you on before, I think we talked about this Women in Animation Guild,
Yes,
which is essentially like a union, or they work with unions, and they were using unions to push men out of the industry and replace them with women. And they had this initiative called 50/50 by 2030, something like that.
Yeah, so
Where it was like,
it was supposed to
yeah,
be 50/50 gender parity across all creative fields by 2025.
by 2025, that's right. By
Yeah,
this year.
by
Yeah.
this year. So
Yeah.
and they've achieved their goal, so they should be packing up and leaving
Well,
right
I think
now. Shouldn't they,
I mean,
Brian?
like, if there's more than 50% women, that still counts as like 50%. Like, we get 75, that's okay too. So
Yeah.
so
a classic Marxist tactic,
yeah,
basically.
yeah.
And so the thing is that they very quietly took that mission statement down from their website, but it's still up on their Twitter.
Mm. So you got well, let me ask you this. When you were doing that job before all this madness,
Yeah.
would you say that was a very, like, a dream job, or like a really satisfying job
Yes
for
and
you?
no.
No?
Yes, well, yes and no.
Okay.
I guess when I first started, I guess when you start any job, there's like a honeymoon phase. And initially, when I first started it was great. I got to finally get a taste of how actual meritocracy in a proper working studio production actually worked. I was getting paid good money. People liked my work. Everyone was very supportive, and it was great. But over time, as I worked at different studios on different productions, things became less and less pleasurable, I guess is a good way to put it.
Yeah.
I think I might have talked about this before on the last time I was here, but things got a little bit more weird as time moved on. And as I'm being an animator, one of the skills you have to learn is being able to observe sort of things objectively around you. And I was kind of noticing a lot of stuff that was happening and sort of thinking that didn't really seem right. But turns out my instincts were true, and I was ignoring them at my own peril.
So there was like some bureaucratic things that you didn't like. There was a cultural thing.
Yeah, it was like office culture, because the Marxist feminist ideology was very slowly, like a cancer, starting to sort of embed itself in. I didn't really notice it. I didn't really notice it the most until I was starting to work on Gravity Falls, which was like around 2015 or so. And that's when I really started to notice it, when the showrunner started to act in particularly discriminatory ways.
Are you talking about the Steven Universe guy?
No, I'm talking about Alex Hirsch.
Yes, Hirsch. I was trying to remember his name. He didn't work on that.
Well, I don't want to give him the benefit of like saying his name, so I just say the showrunner of Gravity Falls.
Yeah.
Because again, like, this happened a long time ago, and that's long in the past, and I'm now living my life as I am today. And and the usual simps still accuse me of being obsessed with it when I'm really not. I'm just doing my own thing.
Right. So what's like the most heinous thing that you know of that you've been accused of, if you don't mind talking about it? I think that these are false allegations. Really, we should know what they are, because this is it's awful.
It is awful. Well, the most heinous thing that keeps getting brought up, it's kind of a bit, I know it's really convoluted because it changes with every time it's accused.
The story changes.
The story changes every time it's thrown in my face online. But the crux of it is that on Gravity Falls, for some reason, I had this mega crush on one of my fellow
A coworker.
fellow storyboard artist by the name of Dana Terrace, and that I wanted to bang her, and that she instead wanted to, and for some reason she was flirting with the showrunner Alex Hirsch in front of me, and so I threatened to rape her at knife point if she didn't
What?
date. Yeah, that's the current iteration of it. If she didn't do that, and that's why I got fired from Steven Universe.
That's crazy, dude. Okay, yeah. So
Yeah, so
yeah.
it doesn't make any sense because
Yeah.
I did freelance on Steven Universe before I worked on Gravity Falls. So whenever I hear that, I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And again, and so that's the most heinous thing. The other ones are the usual false accusations of sexual harassment and
Mm-hmm.
me being a raging maniac or some of the stuff. The other one is that I'm like some kind of crazy incel who got fired from Steven Universe because I was screaming at Rebecca Sugar, the showrunner, demanding that I am somehow I am supposed to have a relationship with one of the characters on the show, which is
Oh, what?
which
Wait, wait,
which
wait,
is
wait, wait, wait,
absolutely
wait.
ridiculous. Yeah,
I
you need
you need
yeah,
to
go.
help me understand this.
Okay.
A fictional character on the show you're supposed to have a relationship with?
Yeah.
I don't. What? What are you talking
So,
about?
well, let me clarify. So, back when I was still quote unquote friends with people like Rebecca and the people in the industry before I was persona non grata, after I'd basically had a nervous breakdown from all the bullying I had sustained on Gravity Falls, I was just like, I want to draw something that's gonna make me laugh, and so I drew all these pictures of this character that I created. I guess you could call it an NPC, sort of interacting in cute and adorable ways with this character on Steven Universe called Pearl. And Rebecca really liked it, and she posted it up on the Steven Universe blog, the drawings, and she thought it was great at the time, and she told me that herself. And so I did like a follow-up drawing showing her and Ian sort of like quoting them saying that, because they were all kind of, they thought it was funny as well. And I was like, oh, okay, great. I could make everyone laugh. And so now they take those drawings and they show them to me and say, oh, this is the proof that you got fired from Steven Universe. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Weird stalking behavior or sexual harassment in the form of drawings.
In the form of drawings that I did, which I still have the originals of. I should definitely try. I should definitely try and like auction those out, because I'm sure they're very valuable now. But yeah, that's sort of the other weird sort of, I don't know, gotcha that they think they have. So it always confuses me every time they bring it up and they're like, "This you, bro?" I'm like, "I drew that. Yeah. What are you trying to say?" So that's sort of the other thing.
That's crazy. They're being basically, you're experiencing people that are using things that you did out of, like, for fun, or even being a little bit thoughtful or whatever. And it takes work to create these drawings, and they're trying to use the most uncharitable interpretation of what you did, to try to, like, hurt your reputation, and damage your name. So, yeah,
I'm definitely gonna. I'm definitely looking forward to the day when I take them to court. So
when you do what?
When I take them to court.
Oh yeah, are you doing that?
Well, I'm working on it. I've been over the years. I've been sort of compiling screenshots and receipts to use against them, and I'm happy to say that day is approaching very soon.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah,
and I think it'll be, well, I guess we'll see what happens. But I think
see what
that
happens.
Potentially it'll be a big, like, there'll be closure at least, and you have a lift, a great weight off your shoulders.
Well, it's more or less just to like kick those little chuds in the balls, but sure.
Yeah, that'll feel good too.
That'll feel good too. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, more or less that's what it is. It's like, and this happens to me a lot online whenever I'm critical of Dana online, because she is a raging psychopathic narcissist. I know that for sure. And she is a bully, and she is a very shallow and vindictive person. And so Normally, I don't really comment on anything about her because, again, it's the past. But just recently, I did criticize sort of her motivations over her recent pilot that just aired.
Mm-hmm.
And as usual, the usual simps came out of the woodwork and went through the same rigmarole that I just described. Again, taking everything I've said and done online, using the least charitable interpretation to ruin my reputation, and taking everything out of context, despite anything that is the contrary to that.
Mm-hmm. So, like, if I know that you've struck out on your own couple times, made a few books. I have one of them. I have Forsaken Gods.
Yes.
Which is, I like that there isn't a lot of dialogue in it. Like, I think that's hard to do. You're telling the story with the images, but I think Forsaken Gods has a lot of legs on it, and I know that there's you have good ideas. But like, if you were able to, would you? Let's just hypothetically, would you strike out on your own and just do your own studio, make your own stuff? If you had start your own business in animation.
if I had $1 million, I would totally do that.
Yeah, if you had $1 million,
I would totally love to start my own studio and offer work to a lot of the same people in our demographic who have found themselves out of work for ridiculous reasons.
Yeah,
that would definitely be a pie in the sky dream of mine.
For sure.
But with everything, the way that machine works is the fuel is money. You need money to get the wheels rolling. And I am making a little bit of money, and I'm trying to work towards some semblance of, I am in a lot more stable place than I was last time I talked.
Yeah.
But even then, I'm still not quite 100% self-sufficient yet, where I can sort of be in a ideal state to sort of contemplate that, so to say.
Yeah, so you have attempted a couple of Kickstarters, and I don't think it's because, well, I don't know, maybe you know better than me, but you've attempted some Kickstarters. I guess they didn't end up being fulfilled for whatever reason. At least some of them didn't. I don't know the full story.
Every successful Kickstarter I've done, I've fulfilled.
Oh, okay. I mean, they met their funding goal, not that you didn't ship the stuff out. I'm sure you did the work. I know that
you're talking about the failed Kickstarters.
That's what I'm talking about. Yes. Yeah. How many of the, how many Kickstarters have you done, and how many have succeeded?
I think I've tried. Well, I think overall I've tried. Well, I mean, if we're just talking raw numbers, I think I tried 5, and 2. I think maybe 2 or 3 succeeded, something like that.
Yeah.
The ones that succeeded were the Forsaken Gods ones, where I hit my funding goal.
Yeah.
The ones that didn't succeed were animation crowdfunders, and part of the reason, and it was usually for the same thing. Which is why that number is 5 and not say 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Because I would put the animation project on Indiegogo, and it wouldn't fund. And then I'm like, okay, well, let's just try a different platform, right? And so I'd go to Kickstarter and I'd try that, and that wouldn't fund. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I would try, it was sort of my process of kind of trying to throw stuff at the wall to see what would work.
Yeah.
And so ultimately the lesson I learned was animation doesn't work unless you have a solid follower base. But for comics, it can actually kind of work a little bit because people want physical media.
Yeah.
But I'm sure maybe you have some insights on that as well, Brian.
Well, you know what? I haven't really paid attention a lot to because I'm not really sure what's going on with the whole comic skate or comics books industry thing. There's a lot of weird infighting, and it's just kind of stupid. And I don't, I kind of because look, the way I see it is, I just want good stories, and I don't know. I mean, I've seen some of the projects, and I didn't find them all that enticing because I'm looking for something that I think I mean, what we need is something that's gonna like really like break it open. Like I don't know, like what happened with like the Fantastic Four, like when Stan Lee's whole story about they were taking the furniture out and he like his wife was like, just write what you want to write, and he wrote that this might not even be real, like it could be a bullshit story, but
Yeah,
it's
knowing Stan
something
Lee,
that
it probably is a bullshit story.
yeah, I know, but like I guess we need something like with that much impact, and I a lot of what I see on coming out of Comicsgate is either derivative or it's almost like a parody of itself.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, this is fine for now, but it's more short term. It doesn't really have it doesn't have the potential for lasting, like sort of timeless content. And I think that's really hard to do. So I'm not even like blaming anyone for not trying. I think it's hard. But I will say, and this isn't me like kissing your ass, but I do think that Forsaken Gods has the potential to be something really like special, because it isn't, from what I can tell, it isn't like just like I don't know, like one of the like Iron Giant or the old King Kong cartoon. Nobody remembers that King Kong cartoon, but it was a little boy and he was friends with King Kong.
Oh wow! I gotta watch this.
Nobody
cartoon
remembers
now.
that. Nobody remembers that.
How
do.
old was it?
Oh, it's old.
Oh,
it's like
that's probably why.
I think it's from the 70s. It might even be from the 60s, but it was from the and it was like a Saturday morning cartoon. And there was this little boy. For some reason, he was in the jungle, but he wore like regular clothes, like a striped shirt and some shorts. And he was friends with King Kong, and King Kong would save him from things. I don't really remember. I just remember
as
it.
King Kong does.
Yeah, as King Kong does, friends with kids.
Yeah.
So
women, not so much. He just kind of grabs them and eats them.
Well, he wants to keep them. He's just trying to protect them.
Yeah, but he's friends with the kids. That's fine.
Yeah.
He lets the kids go. His morals are King Kong's morals are very finely tuned. I'll end the joke there.
It's Harambe. It's just the precursor. Yeah,
it's radioactive Harambe. Yeah.
mutant Harambe.
Yeah.
But anyway, so people are wondering. We should probably like get into this real quick. Sure. I didn't put your name in the title because you have people harassing and stalking you online.
Yeah.
Is this has to do with the thing we were just talking about?
More or less, yeah. So
yeah.
I've had a stalker basically harassing me and following me around everywhere online, I guess nonstop for like the past 5, 6, 7 years, something like that.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You know what they want?
They want to be angry at me. They want to. I know that they definitely want me to be a pedophile because that's all they ever call me. And again, they sort of use the same tactics that we've talked about before, taking a lot of past stuff that I've said and done, taking it out of context and using the least charitable interpretation and throwing it in my face. It's gotten pretty serious, and he's definitely going to be the first person that I'm going to be taking to court.
You know this person's a man? Like, do you know their
that's the thing. I don't know who this person is because they use multiple sock accounts. I think they're on like their 30th sock account. And I block the account, and then they scream at me from behind the block, and then they realize they're not getting whatever narcissistic supply that they're after. So then they make a new sock account, drop into my replies on my posts, accuse me of being a pedophile, the same old thing, the same old repeated broken record process that they've been doing nonstop for the past 5 to 6 years. And then I block them, and then the whole process starts all over again. That's the least egregious thing they've done. I won't talk about the most egregious thing they've done because I don't. I'm not comfortable talking about it because it's really, really egregious. But it's sort of what they've done has basically been. It's basically given me like the magic bullet to basically take their ass to court. And once I get enough of the funds to get a lawyer, that's probably going to be the very first thing I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Just finding out who this person is and confronting them and making sure that they pay for what they've been doing to me, like unchallenged for quite a few years.
Mm-hmm.
And so and I appreciate you. Part of the reason why you haven't put my name on there is because I requested it, because again, they constantly search for me in the algorithm to see where I'm going. And I've done when I was doing the crowdfunders for Forsaken Gods and stuff like that, I was going to other people's streams to try to promote it. And whenever I would advertise it and say, I'm going to be on this stream, they'd show up in the comments trying to intimidate me, calling me a pedophile, calling me a loser, accusing me of wanting to rape Dana and all this other bullshit. And
Wow.
it's and I'm just absolutely fed up with it. It's absolute bullshit, and I am definitely looking forward to the day when I get to unmask this maniac.
Yeah. I'm just sort of like scanning through your X account to see if I see any of this behavior. I guess you've been not blocked, but you're like unable to access your X account.
Right now I'm my account has my what would you call it? It's been I can't comment, I can't like, I can't,
like you've been limited in your ability to use
because recently, because I criticized Dana, my account, they flagged my account and it got and so for the next 11 hours I can't really do anything because I poked the hornet's nest, because I mildly criticized Dana Terrace. And so so if you want engagement, apparently the new rule is just you press the big red button that says mildly criticize Dana Terrace. That's how you get engagement now. So.
I do see though that you do talk a little bit about things happening in the industry.
Yeah.
And your sort of takes on it. I guess something happened with Disney. They're set to get a primetime adult animation block in 2011.
Oh, so that was
old. It was quickly scrapped because of the program's pitch for it.
Yeah, it turns out that was really old, actually. That was back in 2011.
September. Yeah.
When they
so it's an old story, but okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I do occasionally I still do talk about what's going on in the industry. Right now, the industry is in massive decline thanks to the, I guess, the endeavors of what organizations like Women in Animation have been doing. This is the fruits of their labor. And so it's more or less.
So like women in wait. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Women in animation have essentially achieved their goals. And they're probably going to do more than just achieve their goals. It is the year where that should happen.
Yeah.
And they're getting a bunch of women making goon material for women. Am I right about that? Is that happening?
I don't know about goon material, but
lesbian romances and
is a lesbian romance goon material? No, don't
normally for women. I think women have. Have you seen what's happened with women's literature?
Oh,
and I use the term literature.
Yeah,
it's doing a lot of heavy lifting.
That is doing a lot of heavy lifting. No, I know exactly what you're talking about, Brian. The thing I'm not sure if your audience might know this or not, but everything that's happening in the animation industry right now has been happening in the publishing industry for like more than the last 10 years.
Yes.
So it doesn't surprise me now that literature in general and publishing in general is kind of going the same way, or at least Western publishing in general. Because it's the same kind of thing. Then they don't necessarily, the people who make the decisions on what gets published and what doesn't are women, and women aren't looking at, is this a good story? Is this something that has meaning to it that can reach an audience? And if so, what audience is it targeting, so to say? They are looking at who is writing the story and how they could possibly use that identity to somehow capitalize on the virtue economy, which is an imaginary thing. And as a result, because they're not picking things based on the merit of the actual work and how well it's made. They're basing it on whether or not it's their friends, and they just need to make sure their friends get some money. And it's in massive decline. I'm pretty sure their sales are going through the floor. It's the same thing that happened in comics. They're trying to recover, but it's probably going to take the next 10 to 20 years to try to get back to where they were at some point.
Yeah.
And even then, that's not even going to be. I don't even think that's going to be feasible, because now most of the new generations have sort of been trained out of wanting to read and pursue comics. And I think the only thing that they really have going for them at the moment is that there are obviously a lot of comic book movies, but they're missing out on a huge opportunity here to sort of sell more comics, because the movies don't match with the comics and the comics don't match with the movies. So there's
the movies are failing too. Like
the movies are failing too.
Everyone involved in writing them, they have forgotten, at least when it comes to sort of established intellectual properties, that when you take over as a writer, it's not yours. You're a steward of it.
Yeah.
So as a steward, you're supposed to like respect what it was historically and try to maintain the spirit of that thing. And they have completely abandoned it because they're egotistical, insecure narcissists that need everything to be about them all the time. And so they're telling stories that they like because it's about them, but no one else gets it. And it doesn't work. Like, I was on the flight. I went to Canada to for a meetup last that's why we were going to do a show earlier in September, but the meetup and the schedule, they just clashed. So because I had to go to Canada, we delayed it for today. And I was on the flight back, and it was like a long flight, it's like 4 hours. And so I was like, well, there's nothing to do. And they said nowadays, if you guys don't know, how they used to have in-flight movies. Now they have it to where you can use your phone to watch movies for free, and like whatever you want. They have they have a selection. So I'm looking through the movies. I can't really find anything. The only thing they had was what was it? The Thunderbolts, the Marvel Thunderbolts.
Oh,
and I was like, oh fuck, I'll watch it just to see how bad it is, because I know it's not good. And I didn't finish it. And I was like, yeah, these people don't get what this material is. Like, and it's not just in the films, it's everywhere. It's moved so far away from what it was. No one remembers what it was.
Exactly.
Like, it's vanished in just in the spirit of what it was. And so when, and I think that just, putting people in these roles based on their identity markers, as you were saying, it doesn't help, because nobody knows what it is they're supposed to be doing. So all they do is write what they like. And I think a lot of these people came out of Tumblr, and they were convinced they were great writers because, their Tumblr stories got like 10 likes from their friends or something. And so they get in the industry and they start bringing that with them. And the worst part is that to some degree, that stuff is a bit proven. Like, you see that, what was it? 50 Shades of Grey was basically a fanfic of Twilight, and they just turned it into a series of books, and then it became a trilogy of movies. And so all these people on Tumblr are like, well, they did it. Why can't I do it? Why can't I have my own Anastasia Steele?
Yeah, and it's the blind leading the blind, basically.
Yeah, and
that's a common problem in Hollywood, where because of everything we've just described, essentially, Hollywood in general has just lost its competitive edge. I mean, I'm kind of glad about it now. I don't live in LA anymore.
No,
I'm happy to watch them crash and burn. But I mean, well,
they kind of have to at this point. All of these creative industries, they're going to have to completely implode so that they make space for the talent. And I think that when that happens, people are going to expect talent too. Like, we're going to because we need stories. We do.
Yeah. We do need stories. We need people to be inspired. I think I was going at it with people on Twitter recently about how they were complaining because I made a statement where they were taking a tweet out of context where I was saying the original tweet was like last minute lesbians in a kids cartoon, right?
I saw that.
Yeah, the banger tweet of all banger tweets that I've done. Like,
apparently.
Yeah. And I actually got really good numbers on that. And it was just at the time when I made it, I was just like, aha, it's just, a throwaway joke. But again, all the crazies came out of the woodwork, and the same rigmarole happened that we've already been through.
What? Okay, but it's true. So let me see if I can share this with the audience. I'm going to try to.
Well, anyway, just to continue on with the story. So someone took a screenshot of that tweet, and I said, and they were trying to say, is this you, bro? And I'm like, yeah, that is me. I don't think it's very appropriate for children to be exposed to advocating homosexual content to them. It's like, and to sort of talk about that in sort of a deeper level, it's like right now, we are facing a real danger of population collapse because
Mm-hmm.
our replacement levels are nowhere near where they need to be. Like we are far below replacement levels. And yet they're championing this idea of having a homosexual relationship, which leads to no actual offspring. And when you push back on that, they say, well, homosexual relationships are normal. And I take great issue with that. They're not normal. But another argument or non-argument that was thrown my way was saying, there's plenty of heterosexual relationships shown on TV. Why are you complaining about the scant few homosexual relationships shown on in media? And that's actually
Mm-hmm.
a false argument. I would argue that there's literally no or very little heterosexual relationships shown in mainstream media now.
For sure, not these days.
It's almost all homosexual relationships. And any
Mm-hmm.
homosexual relationships that are shown are often put on a pedestal and shown that this is the standard.
Yeah. Or
And
platonic ones, like where
exactly,
like where the male and female relationship is purely platonic or even one-sided, with the
yeah,
man pining for the woman but the woman not reciprocating.
exactly,
Yeah.
or vice versa. And and to your point, and sort of this is also my thesis. um, you know, uh, it's becoming very clear that society and humans, if we want to have a good society, like a positive society and positive humans that's healthy, then we need positive and healthy feedback loops. And the way that you begin those feedback loops is through the media that people ingest. And if they're ingesting a message saying be gay, do crimes, then you're going to be, you're going to have no next generation and you're going to have rampant crime. But if you have a message that says, get married and reproduce, rest in peace, former Japanese prime minister.
Yeah.
Get married and reproduce, and build a healthy family. Then that's going to inspire people to want to do those things. And so we are reaching. It feels like we're reaching a very terrible inflection point, and we're starting to get towards the business end of it right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow. So you're okay, I will say this. I'm impressed. You're more outspoken than you were last time I talked to you. I think you were playing it really safe, or maybe you just weren't as certain, but you're definitely more
Well,
like you have fewer fucks to give these days. It
true. Well,
seems.
yeah, I do have, that is, you know what? You're right. That is true. Back in the day, I guess I was still trying to deal with what had happened because it was such a shock to me.
Mm-hmm.
And these days, I think it's pretty fair, and everybody else, a lot of people very much agree. And the last election did, in fact, kind of prove it. It's that we're kind of basically sick and tired of this fucking bullshit, and getting pushed around and getting hounded and all this other shit is just myself, and I would assume yourself, and I would assume your viewers, and I would also assume, and I hope I'm not wrong. I hope I'm wrong, or not wrong, that a large portion of the general population are really just sick of this fucking bullshit. We're tired of it. We're tired of being told that the way that we live, which has been ordained to us by God to be prosperous and to multiply, because it's through increased populations that we are able to increase our sophistication. And through sophistication, we can further divine the answers that God has laid out for us in the universe that He's created for us to explore. And and right now, what is currently being sort of fed to us or jammed down our throats, I would argue, is very anti-human. It's anti-life. It's anti-hope. And yet it is, they continuously contort themselves to try to gaslight into thinking that it's normal and it should be celebrated. And I'm just not for that shit. I just fucking hate it.
Yep.
And it
100%.
has no place in children's entertainment.
Absolutely not. Preach,
No.
brother. Yeah, no, that's the thing. The thing is, why aren't we just calling it what it is? It's creepy as shit.
It is
To
creepy
put
as shit.
lesbians in a kid's cartoon, it's creepy as shit to do that. And because they assume that children are not, in fact, impressionable. And we have seen how impressionable children can be.
They are. Yeah.
You know, and I think what we show them and the stories we tell them is it matters. Like their brains are just like sponges, like they're just absorbing all this information, and they know that. Like that's why they run the education systems.
Exactly.
They, you know, like the people in your studio that you worked around, they were all educated by the same system. So yeah,
well, they were educated by that system. I was lucky I was educated by a different system in a different country. So
yes, you perhaps were. Although I don't know, is Australia's pretty woke these days.
Yeah,
So maybe it's just a delayed.
Yeah, they're shipping in the immigrants by the truckloads now. Yeah, Australia is more or less basically almost lost at this point, and I'm kind of glad I left that place.
Yeah.
But it's and that's partly the reason why I take such issue with a creator like Dana Terrace, because if you see in that tweet right there's that image of the owl house with the two self inserts of hers.
Oh, the owl house is right here. Yeah.
And it was basically her version. It wasn't even a fucking good show, like on a very conceptual level, because it was essentially a gay version of Little Witch Academia, Harry Potter, and Pokemon kind of smashed together. And so already it doesn't get points for originality.
Yeah.
But just the fact that, again, it's probably, I would say it's the prime example of sort of promoting this shit to kids. But even to this day, Dana is still celebrated. She just recently aired a new pilot called Knights of Guinevere on it's this YouTube channel called Glitch Productions, which is, funnily enough, an Australian company, run by male feminists, Asian male feminists.
Of course.
And you know, it's got 8 million views, and she, despite what a bully she is, what a narcissist and a psycho she is still celebrated. And I take issue with that fact. I mean, if she were to turn around and say, look, I was wrong, I want to try and do better, and she did like a 180, then maybe I would be willing to give her some grace. But she hasn't reneged on everything. In fact, she's mostly just doubled down, and it's mostly just her first world trauma dumping and sort of trying to explain to everyone how gay she is now. So,
well, that's what it's all self-serving. It almost always is too.
It always is self-serving, and you can see it in their storytelling. Like, all of their storytelling is selfish storytelling. It doesn't try to reach out. Oh, don't go through my fucking Twitter. Oh my God.
I've done it. It's too late. I'm not sharing this with the audience. It's okay.
Oh, okay.
You guys can follow him on X. It's just at Pressure Loop.
At Pressure Loop, yeah. But yeah, it's and so whenever it really, I guess it kind of disturbs me whenever I criticize her, even slightly, when her simps come out of the woodwork, and I'm like, oh, okay, so you people aren't very right in the head. Because she was, just to go back to sort of my past a little bit, she was one of the main people who was responsible for destroying my career, destroying my reputation, and getting me kicked out of the industry. Because, again, it's this whole ultra turbo gynocentric view that a lot of the males in the industry who still have work in there subscribe to, about putting women on a pedestal and just sort of acting as subservient slaves to them, hoping that they'll be eaten last. And that's probably one of the other reasons why I don't really talk to anybody in the industry anymore. The ones that I do talk to are the ones who can't get any work, and they generally tend to be, mostly upstanding dudes. So, yeah.
Okay. If you guys want to send any super chats, rumble rants, or super chows, please do so. You can send us a super chow at feedthebadger.com/just the tip. It's usually the best way to send, because You can make it a longer message, and we get most of what goes through. I mean, there's still a little bit of a cut for the people who provide us the services to allow that, but it's a lot better than YouTube, which takes like close to half or half.
What?
Yeah, YouTube
What?
takes half your super chats.
Well, I'm
Google
glad I'm not
takes
on
it.
YouTube anymore. Fuck that.
Yeah. Rumble is better,
Yeah,
but
Rumble is better, but I think
yeah.
it still needs some work to make it more
No, for
functionally.
sure. I mean,
Yeah,
when it comes to the Rumble rants, like you get almost all of it.
yeah.
But yeah, like YouTube, Google, they're definitely getting big for their britches. But I got a Rumble rant. Speaking of Rumble, Mr. 0303 gives us $5 and says, "I really enjoyed Forsaken Gods. It has such amazing world, and it would be a shame if it ends where it did. Has Luke considered continuing it via non-enemy platforms like Eric July's Rip Ascend?" And I guess he was going to say more, or Dan Pan's Burning Star comics.
I have considered all of those options. The problem with Ripasend is that he takes a huge cut.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that what Eric does is wrong and he shouldn't be doing it. He's very successful at it. He understands that it's a numbers game at the end of the day, and he's played it excellently, and he deserves all the success
Kudos.
all the kudos, all the success that he's getting. A lot of people have been sort of trying to have, or at least in the past, they've been trying to dogpile on him as well, trying to tell him how to run his fucking business, which I don't think is cool. But I feel like that's a different story for another time. In regards to Dan Fan, Trish, who's actually a good friend of mine, I have sort of considered that. I don't kind of want to overshadow, because right now she's sort of building out her thing, and I kind of don't want to. Dan Fan. I don't want to overshadow her stuff.
Yeah.
So to say, but I mean, I have considered it as well. In regards to Second Gods itself, I mean, I do want to continue the story. What was it? Chapter or volume 2, I guess. Or chapters 3 to 4. They have all been written out. They're not finished per se, just because part of it is just sort of like a time constraint, because I have a day job, and I'm sort of, as I think I said to you offline, Brian, I'm kind of sort of in my semi-retirement phase.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's there, and I know what the story is. As I've gotten older, it gets a lot harder for me to sort of get stuff out. And for Forsaken Gods, I want it to look absolutely pristine and spectacular. And and so that's sort of another thing as well, because it's in full color. It's not black and white, and so the coloring aspect is a whole other bear to wrestle with.
Yeah.
And again, I want to do a good job. I want it to look good, and it's tough. Part of the problem with that is also, again, it's a numbers game. There's not really, and this is partly my fault. I'm not blaming anybody except myself. Part of it is just whether or not there's enough interest and incentive, and if there's enough incentive, right? Like if I was to do like say 5 figures, like say $25,000 on a Kickstarter, theoretically, if I was to do another Kickstarter for like the next volume, then I would be like, oh, okay, so there is sort of interest. But I've tried to sort of do like reprints, and those haven't funded, and other things, and that partly comes down to the fact that I haven't really been willing to play the clout economy game, so to say, where I'm just streaming every day, doing the dog and pony show, reminding everybody, partly because I don't like that. I don't like this idea of people as brands, because people are infallible, and people make mistakes. But it's why does my throat always dry up when I'm like in the middle of something very poignant?
That's okay. All right.
But yeah, I mean, that's how I see it. I'm not trying to make up excuses. It's just things have sort of slowed down for me a little bit, and so I kind of have to really prioritize what I want to do and how I want to live. And right now, I have another comic series called Something Man, which you might be interested in, Brian.
Something Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's on my Gumroad.
I'm gonna go look it up. Not this second. Maybe
Not this second. Maybe
no,
maybe,
not this second. But Something Man. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah.
Tell me, you guys look it up while we're talking, but not until the stream's over.
Yeah. So just go to the Twitter, and it's the pinned tweet is the link to my Gumroad, and you click that, and it should be there. On the main page, not on the individual page for the thing.
Wait. Oh yeah, Gumroad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see it. I see Forsaken Gods Volume 1, but if I click on your name, I see Something Man. Oh yeah, sure. I saw this. I saw this in your feed.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a what do you call them? A Sentai hero?
Senket.
Like a
Sentai.
What?
I think it's Sentai, yeah.
Yeah, Sentai. Yeah. Like a Power Ranger.
It's sort of a Sentai show, but it's probably the most political work that I've done.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know if you want to bring it up on screen.
I will. Hold on. Let me grab that really quick.
And then you can prompt me with the questions, and I can divulge
So,
wisdom to the people.
Something Man. All right, let me see if this is going to show up. Yes, it is. Okay.
Well, I can see it.
So yep, this is on your Gumroad.
Yeah.
And this is the cover. Looks cool. I like the light. Stand for something or fall for nothing, right?
Correct.
Let me see what this is like a summary here. After the Second Civil War, the government of the United States of America was overthrown. Society collapsed soon afterwards, and in its place, the Collective Territories of Greater Americas, CTGA, was formed, turning the once free nation into a communist future dystopia filled with social credit scores run by an authoritarian AI and a new generation of citizens that exhibit amazing supernatural abilities, who are rounded up and used as cannon fodder to maintain the new regime's grip on power. One of these individuals is a young woman named 43, with the ability to observe and analyze her world around her that most cannot perceive. She can feel only a strange sense that the world she lives in is amiss. That is until she meets a certain someone or something. So, yeah, that like super like this. Oh wait, so this is out? This book?
Yeah, so that's issue 1, and
Mm-hmm.
that's $2. I think that's 40.
Yeah,
I'm not
that's
sure
right
how.
here.
I can't remember how many pages it is. Maybe 30 pages, maybe 40 pages. I'm not sure.
Yeah. And Gumroad, I've never used it, but I guess you can just read the web comics. Or no?
Gumroad is like where you pay for it and you download the PDF.
Yeah. That's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's cool. Yeah, I'll probably buy this.
Oh, okay. Hooray! That's $2.
Yeah. You sold one.
I sold one. Hooray! That means I sold 3 of them.
Well, look, if you guys want to support Luke, you should. And I mean, I appreciate that so this is like your most this is the thing too. And I know you're running out of time because you have to go. So you said you can only give me like an hour.
I can go a little bit longer if you need me.
All right.
Yeah.
That'll just be my patron show shorter. So, but yeah. So, I think that it's really good that we're just like sort of like talking frankly about these things.
Sure.
You know, that stories. You know, people say that they don't want stories to be political. I hear this a lot. And I've been saying from the beginning that you can't really avoid it, because if your story is saying something moral, then it's saying something political, like fundamentally. And when you say political, I think what people think of is sort of like the sort of modern, view on politics. Like we have to talk about, political parties and like different kinds of governments. And no, it doesn't mean any of that. Like that's actually getting a little bit cheap when you're, telling a story. What you should be looking at is like larger abstracts that represent, the same thing. And you're talking about universals, like universally preferable behavior. I don't know what else to call it, UPB. And you're applying it in your stories. Like, why are we rooting for this character that you want us to root for? Well, because they're likable. Like, why are they likable? Well, because they do the right thing, or because they do the right thing despite, all odds or all the temptations not to, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And that has to be based in something that looks like morality.
Yes.
So you can't really like avoid it. And I think, I mean, I don't know, maybe people are realizing this now, but I think that for the longest time they just be like, I don't want any politics. It's like, yeah, but there's no avoiding that. You are going to say something moral, like unless it's completely, indifferent. Like, I don't know, Pac-Man probably is amoral. You're just trying to live
Kirby's
and not
probably
and eat.
Kirby's probably amoral as well.
Yeah, but there's not a lot there either. Like there's not much to it,
Well,
so
I mean, until he picks up the Uzi, there's not really anything there with Kirby.
yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah, I think that like if you're just saying, I don't know, you're trying to make a statement, like it could be based in some Greek Aristotelian philosophy. You're still saying something that is moral, which is ultimately something political. But the thing is, I think that the reason why I'm bringing this up is that I think the left gets to control things because they get to make other people feel like really, really ambivalent about morality because they tell them that it's being political, and so people are turned off by politics altogether, but the left doesn't care. They just keep going. So like
Absolutely.
you end up with a vacuum, like or you get people that like they go too heavy handed the other way because they think they need to like counter it, and I don't think that works either. That turns people off, like making these kind of like chick tract type comic strips that like involve people like going to hell or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that that's not way to do it either. Like you have to like do it in a way that is relatable. It's important to be relatable, authentic, and let's say, I don't know, optimistic, I guess, in a way. I mean, even with the darker stories, you can do that too.
Yeah.
And then I think that that's going to like get people roped in,
Yeah. I mean, I would agree with most of that. In regards to Something Man, yeah, I get what you're saying. The problem is yeah, the left has absolutely taken over and completely twisted the idea of making a political work. And so in making Something Man, I kind of wanted to, I guess, show people how it's actually done. I don't know if you have any specific questions about the book. For me, I kind of wanted to take sort of these ideas of sort of what it means to be authoritarian and to live in sort of this authoritarian world, and how sort of ideology can be used as a cudgel to control people.
Oh yeah.
But sort of look at it not in a sort of a jingoistic way where I'm trying to portray either one side more favorably than the other. It's more about showing people as people and how they sort of react and interact and deal with sort of the situation that they're in, or like the larger world that has sort of been constructed. It's sort of, I don't know if you remember when Donald Trump was first sort of running for president at all.
Of course.
So the thing that really got stuck in my brain, because sometimes I'll see things and something will get stuck in my brain. I'm like, and it'll start sort of percolating on that one thing. And one of the things that sort of like stuck with me was when Samantha Bee was originally on The Daily Show, right?
Yeah.
And she did this skit where she was like, oh, I'm reporting from the future, which is Trump's America. And, she's like, covered in dirt. She's kind of dirty looking. And, the backdrop she's on kind of looks like dilapidated and stuff.
Sure.
And
like
she has
post-apocalyptic or
kind of post-apocalyptic. And she's like, oh,
yeah.
I'm here in Trump's America. I'm a woman in Trump's America. And she had like this giant iPad on her wrist, sort of like strapped to her wrist. And she said, well, my current status rating is a 6. So it means, I can buy food and I can walk freely without the assistance of a man, but I can't vote. And when I saw that, I was like, that's really fucking weird that they would go to that nth degree.
Yeah.
And that was kind of like the crux for the idea of Something Man, because it's the same kind of thing. It's like, they have this sort of, essentially all these superpowered people are sort of basically in this prison camp, and they don't actually have names. They have numbers, which is why the main character is called 43. but rather than the numbers where if you have a bigger number, you have a better rating. It's actually the opposite, where if you have a lower number, you have more privileges, so to say. And the number ratings are based on sort of like the immutable traits. Like the main character, 43, she's this young Black woman, and so she's sort of like in the top 50 of privileged inmates, but they don't call them inmates. They call them like agents or whatever. They give them like these sort of obscure terms to sort of like smoke and mirrors, to sort of like make sure that they don't ask too many questions. You know what I mean? So they give these terminologies different names, which is another thing feminist leftists like to use. They like to manipulate language. And so she's sort of being put in charge of these missions to sort of like capture and retrieve other like superpowered individuals who are coincidentally young kids, and sort of bring them back to the compound that they're all imprisoned in. And even though she's being put in charge, she always fucks up, and she knows it, but she can't figure out why she keeps getting put in charge. And so, yeah, that was sort of the, I guess that was sort of the me taking sort of this joke that Samantha Bee made, and sort of going, what would that actually be if that was like if that was real? Like, what would be the implications of this? You know what I mean? Like, how would they maintain order? Like, how would they keep people in line, so to say? And so that's sort of how that was the main idea for Something Man. And so I thought, it's not enough to just have it about this character. You need sort of another character who's sort of the antithesis to the entire world, much like a superhero, like a unique individual who sort of goes against the grain and fights for a brighter future, so to say. And that is like the character there, who doesn't actually have a name. And so, originally I was going to call the book, S for Something, but I thought that sounded too much like Ray Bradbury. And so instead I came up with Something Man, because he has the S on his forehead. And so the S stands for something, right?
I like that concept. So you're really like, it's always important, if you're an artist or creative person, is to create a challenge. You're going to take probably the least entertaining person, Samantha Bee, and you're going to make this entertaining.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I mean, I like challenges, but
yeah.
It seems most people don't really appreciate that aspect of me trying to take the impossible and make it possible.
No, I think it's great. I think it's I mean, I'm sure most people don't appreciate it, but
the thing is like this podcast right now, or this live stream, is the first time I've ever explained that to anybody. So I hope everyone appreciates where I'm coming from.
Yeah, no, I mean, you always like, give a lot of consideration to what you're doing when you make it. I really like that one. It was like an animation, I don't call it a pilot, but it was like a pitch for like a dungeon crawling thing. That was really cool. Yeah,
that's still online.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think that's awesome.
Yeah,
so
they've tried to take that down as well. Yeah,
of course they have. Yeah, of course. So let me ask you this. We'll wrap up in like 5 minutes, and maybe if you want, if I'm going to do a patron show, and then I got other things I got to do. But let me ask you this: in light of, a couple things. One, so you got stalkers, or at least one.
One stalker, yeah.
Okay, one for sure.
One for sure. Maybe there's more. I'm not sure. I can't tell.
Yeah, one for sure. And it seems like their goals are just to like, I don't know if it's because if you like just disappeared, they probably like have nothing to do. Like so their goal seems to be to make you go away in some fashion.
Yeah. Silence
you, destroy your reputation. And who knows why they're doing it. It almost doesn't matter. But
I have a fair guess as to why, but continue.
You have a theory?
Yeah. Well, it's simple. It's because I criticize Dana Terrace.
Right. It's because you criticize the milady.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, yeah, they're all simps at the end of the day. They're all simps.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, okay, but like the thing is though, in light of recent events, does this not put this kind of harassment in a different light? like this kind of behavior. Like, I've been saying for years that censorship, which I think this counts as to a degree. I mean, he doesn't have the power to like remove you, but he wants you to go away, so he's doing this, assuming it's a he.
Hmm.
I could just be like some angry lesbian that doesn't like what you're doing with the lesbians. They
Hmm.
do have really nice their stats for domestic violence are pretty good. They're pretty
Oh
high.
yeah,
They got
they're
those
definitely
numbers are up.
outperforming men in that regard.
Yeah. but do you think, because I've always said that censorship is just a rehearsal for murder.
Yeah.
And do you like think about that? Do you think that if you died, do you think these people would celebrate your death?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I absolutely would, and that's the other reason. You start now. I think both you, Brian, and a lot of people are starting to figure out why I don't show my face on the internet.
No, I know why. I
Yeah,
mean, I know, I get it. I'm aware of this danger. Because
here's the thing. I kind of saw this coming like years away,
hmm
and uh, and so I made an active effort to not sort of communicate particular personal details about myself, such as
yeah.
things such like they're really obsessed with how old I am, right? And
hmm
so if they can figure out how old I am, then they can figure out sort of get into the ballpark of when my birthday is. And these are all kind of identifiers that they
Yeah.
use to try to track you down. And the first sort of, I guess you could say, uh, the first barrier is sort of getting a bead on what you look like, because if they can get a photo of what you look like, then they can spread that around, and because of the internet, that's you're very likely going to get pinged because of it.
hmm
And then from there, if they can get what you look like, then they can figure out where you live, and if they can figure out where you live, they can figure out sort of how to find out more information about you, and then
Yeah.
it can just escalate from there. And so I've always done my best to sort of be as careful as I can about that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
but some of my former peers who I don't talk to anymore, who are comic skate still, they would constantly like make fun of me of it. It's like, why are you hiding, dude? Why aren't you showing your face? And I'm just like, if I have to explain it to you, I don't think you're gonna understand.
hmm
And then just they never got it. And I see lots of other people do the same thing, and it's like, you people are you're playing dice with
Yeah.
with the integrity of you being alive every day when you do that. So yeah, it's
Well, I know a game developer who worked on a lot of she's an industry veteran that is sort of like you actually. She's living like kind of off the grid, and she like has a farm and she raises rabbits. Like she doesn't do that anymore. And it was
yeah.
because she's had her life, like there was an attempt made on her life
Oh,
because
holy
she was
shit.
critical of like woke commie feminists in during Gamergate.
Mm,
And beyond that, because it's Gamergate is just where a lot of people saw it, but it's everywhere. And yeah, so I completely understand. I mean, my face is already out there, so I'm just kind of like, okay, I know what the risks are. But yeah, I mean, I can't really do anything about it, but I'm not gonna shame other people for wanting to take precautions at all
oh,
because I
well,
understand that.
well, yeah. And I guess the other thing I wanted to say was, we're going through some very troubling times, and usually
Mhm.
when troubling times start to happen, the first people who are on the chopping block are artists.
Yeah.
And so that's sort of the other aspect that I knew that from the start, and I was like, yeah, it's time to sort of hunker down and sort of cover your tracks,
hmm
because yeah, things can go very south very quickly without you realizing it. And if you can sort of, I guess, blend in like the gray man, then you have at least a little bit of a head start to sort of get away from it and sort of try to escape and take care of the loved ones. It's also part of the reason why I don't talk about like family or friends or any projects I'm working on that aren't already out. Um, it's bad enough that most of the animation industry knows who I am, sort of. Part of the good thing is because I'm from another country, sort of there's a limit to sort of what they know about me, which is also good because it kind of means that my parents and my siblings are protected in a way, which is something that I think is important because they didn't sign up for any of this shit.
Yeah.
And I definitely would feel incredibly guilty and incredibly bad if any of this showed up on their doorstep. And that's more or less what I wanted to say on that note.
All right. Well, there is a guy I watch. Okay, this is gonna sound like super boomerish, but I still have a Facebook page because I have family, and that's where I like sort of keep in touch with them.
Yeah.
And I go through Facebook Reels, and there is a guy who has a channel called Punky Doodles. You ever hear of Punky Doodles?
Never heard of Punky Doodles.
Oh, they're so great. They're little short videos with his drawing. I'll send you a link, but then you have to have a Facebook. I don't know if you do.
I don't have
there
Facebook.
These. You do? Okay.
I don't.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
No.
Well, I'll show you what it is because
this guy. Yeah, I've seen these.
You've seen these? Okay. Yeah. They're these just like I'll unmute the tab here and I'll play. One of these. You're funny, and I thought like you could totally make these.
I could, but I'm far too ambitious.
Yeah.
It's just like two drawings with like one-liners. I kind of suck with one-liners.
Well, he animates them a little bit.
But a little bit, but
he makes
the jokes are actually good.
They are. Yeah, it's good stuff. So, but anyway, let's see. Any final thoughts? Anything you wanted to ask us before we wrap this up? By the way, guys, if you can check out Forsaken Gods and his Gumroad. He's got a couple of books there. So show him some love if you could. It is good. I'm not just saying. And they're really, it's like a couple bucks. Well, Forsaken Gods $7, but
yeah, I mean that's like 100.
But this is volume 1. It's like 2 or 3 books or something like that.
Volume 1 is 2 chapters, so it's like 100 pages.
Yeah. Oh, that's huge.
So that's a pretty good deal, I think.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, Something Man.
Yeah, and Something Man. So yeah, go ahead. I'll drop a link. Actually, I think if you go to his X, it's like the top. It's like the pinned
the
post.
Pinned.
Yeah. So you can just go check that out. It's like right here, Fresher Luke at Fresher Luke. And yeah, please support him there and show him some love.
Do you want to talk about the Patreon?
Patreon? Yeah, sure.
My Patreon.
Talk about the Patreon.
Is that all right?
Your Patreon.
Huh?
Studio Fantoma?
Yeah.
Yeah, here it goes. So yep. So what? Tell me about the Patreon. It's just your Patreon.
Yes, the Patreon, $2 a month.
The link is in the. I put the link to this in the description.
You did. I appreciate that.
It's in there. Oh, you looked. You checked. You were following up on me.
I do. I always check. Just because I want to see the thumbnail and see what you do for the thumbnail. But yeah, it's $2 a month. Currently, it's sort of on hiatus because I've got some pressing work that I need to get to over the next few months. But if you want to, you can join for free as well. You won't have access to the posts, but it's mostly just trying to fund the animation work and just showing the behind-the-scenes stuff and little tidbits, stuff like that. So.
Another question I meant to ask: are you at all threatened or concerned about AI taking your gerbs?
Well, not now because everyone's lost their jobs, more or less.
Yeah,
already lost their jobs. And I haven't had a mainstream job in like 6 or 7 years. So I'm not really. I'm not threatened by AI. I see it as a very viable tool. And every time I bring it up, the usual suspects come out of the woodwork and chastise me for advocating for it. I think once it gets to a certain stage where it's like actually good and usable and consistent and versatile, then it'll be truly viable and it'll be great for independent creators like me because it'll essentially level the playing field. God willing. And I think audiovisual sort of content and entertainment will sort of become like vinyl and cassette tapes when they were at the height of their heyday. It'll be sort of everywhere, so to say, and people hopefully, in my most optimistic way of looking at it is that hopefully everyone will then start to judge the works based on the merit and the quality of the work and the quality of the stories, rather than say who's making it and what ideologies it's trying to push. I'm sure there'll be some of that in there, because I don't know if we're ever going to escape the cloud economy. But but I want to try and stay optimistic, in the sense that I think it's probably going to be the most powerful tool for somebody like me. And I'm very much looking forward to utilizing it and shoving it in the faces of all those people who tried to make me homeless.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's going to make it to where your connections are not going to matter as much as your ability to tell stories that people resonate with. And I think that AI can help with that. It won't be able to replace, I don't think a real innovative, spirit, but I think that it can be a very powerful tool that helps. I mean, at least as far as I know right now. So, but and yeah, it could kill most importantly, it'll kill the gatekeepers. There just won't be any. Yeah. So, well, we'll have to see what happens. I mean, it's who knows.
AGI 2026, baby. Yeah. Nearly there.
Oh, okay. Well, so I got to wrap it up here just because of time, but I am going to be going into the patron show so you guys can hang out with me there. I don't think Luke is going to stay for that.
I can stay for that.
Can you get into the Discord though?
I could try.
Okay.
We're Discord buddies, aren't we?
I think so, but I don't know. It's been a long time.
Yeah, I will. Just shoot me a message.
I will. Well, don't leave. I'm gonna close it out here, and then we'll just see if you get you in the Discord. Then.
Okay.
Okay. So with that said, we're gonna go into the patron show. I want to thank Luke for coming on. We'll definitely have you on again soon. There's so many more things we could have talked about. We're just short on time.
Yeah.
And I hope that you will come back.
Of course. I want to thank you, Brian, and I want to thank Allison. You guys have really been there for me when the chips were down, and I've never forgotten that. Trust me, when Allison was giving me that work for $20.50 a pop, that was like a light in the darkness. That really helped.
That's good. Yeah, I'm glad. Well, your work, it deserves, it's worth it. It's always really, really professional. Thank you. But and I want to thank you guys most of all for watching. There's a lot of thanking going on, so I'm gonna end the show there. If you guys like this video, please hit like, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, hit the bell for notifications, leave us a comment, let us know what you guys think about what we discussed on the show today. You can find Luke's links down in the description, and please share this video, because sharing is caring. Thank you guys so much for coming on today's episode of the Fireside Chat, and we will talk to you all in the next one.
Men's right activists are machines, dude. Okay? They are literal machines. They are talking point machines. They are impossible to fucking deal with, especially if you have a couple dudes who have good memory on top of that too. Holy shit, you're fucked.